welcome to episode number 7 of the Base Camp Country podcast. My name is Kix Nelson, and I am here with Cael Lundstrom, a Nebraska land professional with Base Camp Country Real Estate. We're here to talk to Cael today, get to know him a little bit, and see how he's doing. What's going on, Cael?
Oh, living the dream. It's beautiful fall weather here in Nebraska. A big cold front came in this morning, so eager to get to the woods today.
Yeah, man, we had one cold front here about a week ago, and that's been about it. It warmed right back up, and it's been hot ever since. So
Yep. No, it dropped about 30 degrees last night, so it should get some bucks moving today and the rest of the weekend here.
Nice. Well, Cael is Base Camp Country Real Estate agent in Nebraska, and last year, this man won the Rising Star Award with Base Camp Country Real Estate. He has been killing the game since he's been in it, and tell us a little bit about that, man. How long have you been with Base Camp Country? How long have you been a real estate agent? Kind of what inspired you?
I've been in real estate, I think, a little over 2 years now, and I've been with Base Camp the entire time. My dad and I were actually the first 2 agents here in Nebraska, and that's where we're at. We're been killing it so far and really enjoying it.
Yeah, man. I was checking out some of your listings on our website, basecampcountry.com, and you got quite a few listings out there right now.
Yeah, we recently we've listed a lot of nice, really nice properties, and it's kind of stagnant right now. I think just the time of year, and a lot of people are finishing up harvest and things like that. So we haven't had the call activity that we necessarily would love, but I think it's going to change here in the next month or two, and after the election and things like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think after the election, people will start looking to move, and depending on what happens, and then, first of the year, I think it'll really pick up. It's my hope anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So did you always want to be a land professional, man? Was it always kind of in your wheelhouse, or what? How'd you get involved in it?
Yeah, so it started early on. My dad's an avid bow hunter and whitetail guy, and so I've always been a part of the outdoors and knew at a young age that I wanted to be in the outdoor industry some way, shape, or form. I just wasn't sure where. And, I looked at the routes of, being a camera guy or being a game warden and, all the different opportunities you might have in the industry. And I think it was a common denominator for me with a lot of guys is it was a lot of those jobs were tough to make a lot of money or good money, and at the time at least. And so I'd say it was probably sophomore, junior year is when of high school, when I really knew that I wanted to be a land agent. I wanted to work for an outdoor style company and sell properties that I enjoy, being on and talking to people that, I enjoy doing the same things as.
Yeah, man. So how old are you, Cael?
I'm 22.
So you went into it basically right out of high school then?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. I went and got an associate's in ag business, got a 2-year ag business degree, and got my license right after that.
Okay. What school did you go to get that ag business degree?
Mid-Plains Community College here in Nebraska, just a small ag school, and I graduated during COVID, so I did it all online and worked at home. Helped on the family farm and did my schooling online, which I loved. Most people wouldn't, like to do that, but I enjoyed it, and I was able to hunt and work and make some money and still do what I need to do.
There you go. Well, I tried some of that online schooling, man. It didn't work out too well for me. So,
yeah, when it comes to the real estate classes, though, I struggle doing that online. But yeah, I got through it.
Yeah, I took mine in person, man. I like it better that way.
Yep. That's what Dad and I did, and it definitely helped just to bust it out all in a week or two or whatever, and all the knowledge is in your head, and go take the test.
So your dad's kind of your teammate over there in Nebraska, man. Talk to us a little bit about your dad. How long has he been doing this game and what got him involved in it? We'll obviously have him on at some point, let him tell his own story, but tell us a little bit about your dad.
Yeah, so Dad's been raising cattle, built a pretty cool facility here in Nebraska that we actually just sold like a week ago. So he's been doing that for basically his whole life and just working his tail off. But he has the same desires as I do, and obviously got me into the outdoors and into whitetail hunting and teaching me all he can about land. And so when I came back, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I did an internship with Base Camp Country. And when I got back from that internship, I told Dad, I was like, why don't you get your license with me? And, he was kind of like, I don't know about that. And finally talked him into getting his license with me. So we did it all at the same time. Him and I drove to Lincoln for like 2 weeks every day, did it together, which also really helped. We could bounce things off each other. And so now, yeah, we pretty much do everything together right now. And it's really enjoyable. It's a cool experience being able to do it with my dad. And it really helps out because he's, all the people he's lived here his whole life. And so the personal connections and people that he talks to in his day to day, conversations, a lot of those people are the ones looking to buy and sell right now, and not necessarily my 22-year-old friends. So it's good to have that balance. And we kind of split up and do, I take care of a lot of the technology and drone work and things like that. And, he does some of the other stuff and producing leads. So it works out really good. And it's been a fun experience. I think he's glad that I got him into it.
You guys are a great team, man. You guys put together some awesome listings up there in Nebraska. You guys are absolutely killing it for only being in the game for 2 years, man. Super proud of you guys.
I appreciate it.
So earlier in the podcast, Cael, you said that you did a internship with Base Camp Country. So talk to me a little bit about that, man. How did that work for you, and what did you learn from that?
Oh, man, it was, that's kind of how I got involved with Base Camp, I guess. And it was just kind of unique, and it was cool to see how all these doors opened up and to get where I am now. But my dad, like I said, was an avid whitetail hunter and loves to manage properties as best he can. And through that, he met Tom James through some of the Management Advantage stuff, and Tom was gracious enough to talk to him about habitat and giving him some ideas for our farm and stuff. And it turned out to be a full-on, basically, habitat consultation where Tom came out and Zach York, his son-in-law, came. Casey Shootman with the Management Advantage also came out to Nebraska for a couple days. We did a little turkey hunting and basically walking around talking about habitat, and they filmed a couple episodes for the Management Advantage, which was cool. And that's pretty much when Tom expressed the interest that Base Camp had just kind of started, and they were coming our way. They wanted to move west, and that's where I obviously jumped in and said, "Hey, I got that's what I want to do. Like, let's see what we can make happen." And he basically told me to go get my license after that. And then I had to do an internship. I figured that out for my last semester of college. I had to do an internship, and I emailed Tom and just told him the situation, and he called me and he's like, we don't really offer an internship. And I was like, well, is there any way we could make it work? Because they didn't have guys in Nebraska, obviously. So it's not like I could just stick around here and, go around with some agents. And they had some guys in Kansas, but they weren't all full time. And so basically I packed my bags up and went to Indiana for 2 months, basically lived with Tom and his wife, went to the office every day with Tom and spent some time with some other agents in the field, for a week or two at a time or a couple days, and was there for 2 months-ish and just had an absolute blast. And coming home from that, I pretty much knew this is where I wanted to be, and shortly after went and got my license. So,
man, spending 2 months with Tom James, you had to have been full of knowledge by the time you left. Yeah.
I don't know about full knowledge, but I was trying to take in as much as I could. I was like a kid in a candy store hanging out with all the Indiana guys. And there was the weekend I got there, I showed up in West Lafayette. It was about a 12-hour drive for me, and the truck was full, and I got to West Lafayette, and I'd never met Pat McFadden, but that's where my first destination was. So I showed up there at, 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and he introduced me, and I met him, and he offered his place to me for that first weekend. And all the Indiana guys came the next day because they had their little retreat where all the Indiana guys got together at the McFadden cabin and just hung out for the weekend and live the outdoor lifestyle. And after that weekend, I was like, this is cool. It was a lot of fun to meet all the guys. And then my last hurrah was in January or February. They had the Indiana Deer and Turkey Expo. And so that was my last weekend in Indy. And so that was a good way to go too. It was a first show, and sat at the show with everybody for 3 days. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So then you took all that you learned in your 2-month internship there and brought it back to Nebraska and put it to work. Huh?
Yep. That was the goal. It was really cool to see. Probably the coolest experience or, thing I took from it was spending time with the different agents and seeing how they went about their real estate job. A lot of them were doing it after work, and some of them had a part-time job, some of them had a full-time job. I spent some time with Caleb, and he obviously does real estate full-time. So it was really interesting to see how guys went about their day-to-day stuff, and just how they approached real estate, because there's not a right or wrong way to do it. And there's many, depending on your personality, you might go about it a completely different way than I might go about it. So being able to see that between the agents was really cool, and helped me, determine how I was going to, take my business once I came back to Nebraska and got licensed. So that was really fun.
So is a real estate all you do, just full time?
No, it's not. I help on the family farm, so I stay pretty busy the springtime through the summer and the fall during harvest season. So the winter times when I kind of this will be my first winter basically trading real estate as my full-time job. Luckily with the farming stuff, I have the freedom and abilities to make them both work. They go together well, in my opinion. I can, whether I'm sitting in the tractor or not, I can always have a headphone in and be talking on the phone to people. And if I need to stop and go show a property, I can do that. And that's also a plus to having dad involved with two guys. If one of us can't make it, the other can, and whatnot. So it works out really well. And being a part of the farming, I think in this area helps, because I'm doing what the people I talk to and are working with are doing in their day-to-day life too, and being able to connect with them that way goes a long ways.
Well, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, and that's very important in this business, because these landowners and guys looking for land and stuff, man, they will see right through it if you don't know what you're talking about. And if you try to fool your way around it, they're not gonna buy it,
Yep, absolutely.
What do you enjoy most about working in the land real estate business?
Probably just talking to people. I enjoy talking to people. It's refreshing talking to people that you have the same aspirations and goals and hobbies and a love for. And I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of the people that we've worked with are guys that have the same goals as I do and same desires as I do with what they want to do with the land. They appreciate it. We can sit there and talk about how they can make it better. That's probably my favorite part, is just meeting the new people and then helping them the best I can.
Tell us a little bit about the land market in your area. What's it looking like? I know earlier we kind of mentioned it was a little slow right now, but I think that's everywhere in the country.
This time of year, most of the farmers are starting to get all the crops out of the field. So harvest is just winding down. There's maybe some still bigger farmers going. So I think it's kind of, at this time, everybody's, like we said, it's kind of slow. People don't know what they're going to do. But I foresee in the future that the winter months is where a lot of our agricultural ground sells. Farmers, obviously, it's been, with the markets and stuff, it's been tough the last couple of years, and farming hasn't been as good as it has been in the past. And I think it's going to make a lot of people want to list their properties, and agricultural ground here, at least, the auctions are getting huge. A lot of people are going with auctions to sell that tillable ground, but I think people are still paying good ground. There was an auction here like a week ago for some tillable ground, and it brought good money. Prices are still there. I think it's just the time. We need to wait it out a little bit.
When these big farms and stuff up in Nebraska are they selling to other farmers? Are they selling to developers? What are you noticing up there?
Yeah, so most of the stuff that we see is local guys, local farmers, local people that want to keep the ground close, neighboring properties, somebody from the county. It's not been very often, at least that we've sold a property and it hasn't been somebody local. I don't think, we've got calls from out-of-state guys and stuff, but I don't think we've actually sold a property to an out-of-state guy yet.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. It's a little bit different in my area. We got a lot of developers coming in, buying up big chunks of ground and building subdivisions on them down here,
Yeah, we don't have the development. We do have guys that want to buy farm ground just as to get their money out of the bank, investment type people. And I know there's some of that around here. I've heard about it, but we just haven't necessarily sold one of our pieces to that yet.
Okay. What kind of land do you mostly deal with? Sounds like you deal with mostly tillable ground, farming ground, stuff like that.
Yeah, so where I live, Nebraska's a unique state because it's got a little bit of everything. Where we live specifically is tillable ground, farm country. We're a couple miles from the Platte River corridor, which is the main river corridor that runs east and west through the state. So there's obviously that's where most of our recreation is around here. There's a lot of recreation there. And then it runs into the bluffs. It's called the Cedar Bluffs, the hills kind of above the river. And so there's some recreation and pasture cattle type ground, and then it flattens out. But you go to the east and you're talking, Missouri, your type stuff, or you got creek bottoms and things like that. And then you go west, and last week I was out in the Sand Hills listing a property. So it's a little bit, you got everything in Nebraska. You won't get caught up in the same stuff, that's for sure.
Do you guys have very much timberland out there in Nebraska?
Not where we're at. We got cedars here. We live in the bluffs, so we're in the cedars and farm country basically. But if you go to the southeast, then you start talking, you can find some timber and things like that. And there's obviously timber around the rivers and creek systems and stuff, but it's not like what you're dealing with in Missouri, that's for sure.
What kind of projects you've been working on lately, man? You got anything going on you want to talk about?
We got a showing today and showing tomorrow on two properties that have kind of been a little bit stagnant and haven't got a ton of interest recently. So we're excited about that, and the people sound super interested. So we're pumped to go show it and hopefully see what happens and, get one of those things moved, and a potential couple listings on the way. So yeah, we're excited. Harvest just got done, so now I can spend some more time on real estate, and I help out with the family farm as well. So I've been locked up for the past month or two with harvest, but I'm excited to get after it and start try to have a good winter here.
What are you guys planting and running up there on your farm?
Corn and soybeans, a little bit of milo, but yeah, pretty traditional row crop, corn and soybeans operation. Yeah.
You got, how much land you got?
Oh, there's between all the family, there's a couple thousand acres of farm ground.
Has hunting season been started yet, man?
Not really. Like I said, with harvest and everything, been pretty stuck in a combine. But I've been out once is all, but it's been really hot here. It's been warm. Like I said, yesterday was 80 still. Yesterday was 80, so today's a high of 51 or something. So I'm planning on showing that property today, and then getting in the stand this evening, and probably hunting the rest of the week, or trying to. And it's gonna get good. And then here in about 9 or 10 days, I think I'm going down to meeting Zach Stevens, Indiana agent down in Kansas, to film him for a couple days. He drew a Kansas whitetail tag, so I'm gonna go sit in the stand with him and try to film him killing a big one.
Zach's been all over this year, man. He got a big one over in Kentucky, and I think he just got a big one.
Yeah, yep, he's been killing it.
Yeah, he'll probably end up in Missouri at some point. I'll have to show him around here.
Probably on his way home from Kansas.
When is your guys' archery season? What does it run from?
So it's September 1st through January 1st. It's a long season.
Yeah, we got September 15th through January 15th here in Missouri.
Gotcha. Yep. Pretty long season here, so it makes it fun. I normally don't start enjoying it till about this time of year, about middle of October, maybe a cold front or two, and then Halloweenish. But
and I always say, October 25th to November 5th is my favorite time to hunt. And man, it's been 80 degrees here. I think we've had like 2 days where it's gotten below 70. And
yep. Yeah, it just hasn't started happening yet, but I think this cold front might give them a little push.
We're supposed to get a big storm and some tornadoes and all kinds of crazy weather today. Maybe that'll get out of here and weather will drop. Ready for it to cool off a little.
There you go.
Tell us one of your favorite memories that you have about, in the outdoors, whether it's hunting or fishing or whatever it is. Tell us one story about just one of your favorite memories.
Oh man, that's a tough question. There's too many. Well, I've been fortunate enough to be in the woods quite a bit, and probably sharing a blind or tree stand with my dad. We've been doing it for a long time, and it's been a lot of fun. We hunt the same property quite a bit, and we actually both drew Kansas tags last year, and I went down with Craig's Weirs and some of his buddies and actually filled my tag, and Craig filled his in early November, I believe, and then late November I went back with my dad to hunt a different property and share a stand with him for a couple of days, and we didn't have the success we were hoping for. It was really tough weather and tough hunting when I went back with my dad, but it was a lot of fun to do that was our first time ever hunting out of state.
Nice.
And so I'd done it earlier in the year, and it was his first time hunting out of state. So it was fun to go back with him. And like I said, we didn't have good luck, but it was cool to see some neat country and do some hanging hunts and just do something different with dad. And it was a lot of fun.
You ever got a chance to come to Missouri?
I have not. I hope to. I plan to. Just haven't made it happen yet.
Yeah. Come on down, man. We got a tree stand with your name on it.
I appreciate it. I might have to hit you up on that.
Yeah. Well, brother, we got a new segment we're doing here that we're going to call it rapid fire question section. Okay. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions here, about 15 questions. You just answer them as fast as you can. Super simple stuff, but just stuff people like to hear. Okay.
All right.
Favorite camo brand?
First Light.
First Light. Crossbow or compound?
Compound.
What is your favorite broadhead?
Rage hypodermic.
What is your go-to rifle caliber?
22-250 for coyotes.
Nice. Favorite rifle brand?
Probably Savage.
Favorite hunting app?
Onyx. Favorite
rifle optics?
Athlon.
Tree stand, saddle, or blind?
Tree stand.
Favorite animal to hunt?
Whitetail deer.
Favorite social media platform?
Probably Instagram.
Top 3 favorite social media accounts you follow?
Oh man, that's a tough one right there. I enjoy watching the Management Advantage stuff. I enjoy watching the Seek One guys do something a little different and pretty cool where they're, and let's say, oh man, I can't even think of another one. I don't watch enough.
Tough question.
I don't know another one. Yeah, just go with those two. I don't watch much. That's
fair enough. Well, that's it, man. That's it for our rapid fire questions.
Okay. There. Put me on the spot.
We like doing that around here.
Yeah, that was fun.
So up in Nebraska, man, I've been up to Nebraska a few times hunting snow geese. You guys have quite the snow geese population up there. You do any of that?
Yeah, I do. I got into waterfowl a couple years ago. I got some good buddies that have a killer spot on the river and a sand pit where they do pretty well, and kind of got me into that. So it's been a lot of fun. It's just another addiction to add to the collection, an expensive addiction.
Very.
Haven't done much of the snow goose stuff, but I actually went out yesterday morning and we killed some ducks, and so it was fun. Now, it's pretty good. It's pretty good if you go east or west of here. We're kind of in that middle zone that's really tough. Last year we had a good reverse migration, but other than that, it was pretty brutal.
Well, we got a pretty good episode here, man. Where can listeners find you online if they want to get a hold of you and stuff?
Yeah, they can find me on Facebook just at Cael Lundstrom, Nebraska Land Professional. I'm also on Instagram just under C Lundstrom or something like that. Those are the two that I use the most. But then obviously on our website, you can find my number and email and stuff like that, and feel free to reach out.
Well, Cael, I know you're only 22 years old, man, but you are absolutely killing it in this game. I'm super proud of you, and you and your dad are just doing an amazing job with the real estate. Keep up the good work. I have one last question for you. It's kind of my final question I'm going to ask everybody. So if you could give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would it be?
It'd be take high school and college more serious.
Good answer.
Listen in those business classes and do your stuff the way you should, because you don't think you'll use it, but I would be using it right now if I listen a little bit better in some of those business classes.
Yeah, I'm the same way, brother. I hear you. So thanks for joining the podcast today. It was great to have you on. It was great talking to you, man. Appreciate it. You taking the time out of your day to do this.
I appreciate it, Kix. I had a good time doing it.
Guys, thanks for listening. Go follow Cael on social media. You can look him up, Cael Lundstrom, on Facebook, Basecamp Country Real Estate in Nebraska. Get on our website, basecampcountry.com, and he is all over that website too. Just search for Nebraska and he will pop up. Don't forget to follow Basecamp Country Real Estate on social media. We're available everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we're on there. And remember, it's more than just dirt, it's a lifestyle. We will see you next week right here on the Basecamp Country Podcast.